Hello, my name is Ines. Welcome back to my channel. This is where we talk about emotions and just a safe space to feel the feels. Today, I will want to talk about a lot of things. But today we're going to talk about universal laws. So one of the last episodes I did was about unconditional love. And that episode is going to bring us into universal laws. The way that I get my vision sometimes is like this. The Creator created the ecosystem. But when Earth was created, so here's God, the sun, and his little ecosystem. And over here, third rock from the sun is Earth, who has her own ecosystem. And though I haven't traveled to the celestial cosmos and all of that yet, one thing I do know is that no other planet or planetary system or star system can create like Earth, which makes her the divine co-partner to the sun. So a lot of the times we look at God and as, are they people? Are they aliens? You don't have to give them a physical body. You need to understand them more as energy. So one of the visions I also got was that the sun is like the sun rays is almost like the sperm that reached Mother Earth, aka the womb, and thus created new life, earthlings. Okay? So once you understand that everything is actually energy, every emotion, every relationship is a metaphor for energy. Mother, father, daughter, son, co-partners, co-creators, that's all energy. That's all just metaphorical language to describe how energy works. So, yes, so duality is very important here on Earth. Understanding duality helps us understand how to control and gives us the ability to better control the energy within and around ourselves, okay? When we talk about the Earth's grid, the collective grid, we are talking about the law of one, and we are talking about the law of energy. So everything that has to do with anything in our celestial ecosystem as well as on Earth, two laws: law of oneness, aka law of love, and law of energy, aka emotion, and duality, polarity. I looked over the universal laws, and when you understand life outside of Earth on a soul energetic level, you'll understand that as vessels on this Earth, we are attached to this Earth. But once we are outside of this earthly vessel, we have an entire universe that we are a part of, like an entire ecosystem that Earth is a part of. So one thing with the way that life has been through colonization, through capitalism, we aren't honoring the rest of the universe as we should be. Meaning that we don't work with the rest of the ecosystem as we should be, whereas Mother Earth does work with the natural ecosystem, the cosmic ecosystem, if you will. So I've looked over the universal laws, and I personally feel like there's 7 to 12 laws that are written, and I've kind of brought it down to 2. One thing I don't like about overcomplicating things is if we're trying to understand a system outside of the system we've grown up on that is so insanely deeply programmed into our brains, we have to lessen the complications of understanding. So this is where I, as someone who sees the bigger picture, one of my responsibilities is to explain the big picture to people, and part of that is simplifying the process. Now, I know some people are going to say you can't simplify everything, and I agree. However, when we start to learn, you have to simplify it. Otherwise, people aren't necessarily going to agree or understand or catch on when they're first starting. So, the two main laws are law of one, aka love, and law of emotion or transmutation polarity. Okay, so there's a lot of things that are used to explain our world right now, and I am going to be doing, I'm just kind of getting some ideas together for it, but I will be doing an episode on specifically on energy to explain to people what actually energy is, because I feel like it is a concept that scientifically hasn't been explored yet, and it's always been kind of hogwash. And now that we're learning how corrupted religion is and how little we know about our universe, it's going to be a very important episode, but I digress. For now, all we have to understand is the law of one. I also did an episode about unconditional love, and love is the main force of our entire universe, and this is where the law of one is the law of love, meaning that law of love allows us to be magnetically connected. Okay, so everything in our ecosystem, when I say ecosystem, I don't just mean Earth, I mean our universal galactic celestial ecosystem that Earth is a part of. So this includes the sun, the moon, all the other planets, all their moons, and how we all work together. So the law of one includes rhythm, flow, vibration, frequency, gravity, and what it means is as long as things are well balanced, they will essentially flow well together, and their gravity pull, magnetic pull towards one another will have some sort of cause and effect, okay? There is the law of cause and effect, which is kind of its own little thing, karma, etc., consequences, actions, all of that. However, right now we're going to concentrate specifically on the law of one, the law of love. As long as you are a part of this ecosystem, whether it's in a celestial soul sense or in a human vessel sense, you have to work with natural order, you have to work with the universal energies to be able to flow with the rhythm of the universe. Unfortunately for us right now, through colonization, through the use of capitalism, through religion, and through not honoring our spiritual and earth selves, we have fallen out of the rhythm. We have fallen out of the law of one. And right now, part of this whole unity thing isn't just to unify humans together, is to unify us to the rest of the universe and the celestial ecosystem. So some of you might have heard about galactic federations, the Federation of Light, all of that. I do know stuff about that. I won't be releasing anything about it just yet, but I will say that the universal laws apply to everybody in the universe, but Earthlings, the humans on Earth, for certain reasons, haven't been following universal laws as well as we should be. And now, during this great reset, we are essentially resetting so that we are aligned with universal laws. So everybody's talking about unity and all this stuff, and part of that is to bring us back to universal laws, but it's also unifying with, like, back into the oneness or the unity of the universe. You can honestly consider this more like going back into the gravitational pull of the universe. Like if you picture Earth and if you picture Earth and Earth's cycle around the sun with the other planets, it's almost as if Earth is kind of like shaky, unbalanced, falling out of the gravitational rhythm of the universe. And our job as earthlings with this whole increased frequency, increased vibration thing, this is all to bring us back into that gravitational pull into the rest of the universe. But we have to do it with understanding that each single one of us is a piece of the puzzle. And that's part of the unity, that's part of the oneness, and that is part of love. However, I will say this, we cannot fall into place of oneness and love and align ourselves with the law of the universe if we still have tense issues that aren't being addressed. One of those is, I talked about this in United in Conversation. One of the things that we really have to talk about is the fact that historically we messed up, like big time. And it's not necessarily about who's to blame. We're all to blame. Every single one of us on this planet, right now on this earth, is to blame. We have done something karmically in our past lives that has brought us to this catastrophe we're in now. So instead of pointing the finger and finding someone to blame, what we need to do is say, okay, well, this happened in the past. Let's not do it again. And in order for us to know what we've done in the past that was wrong versus what was done versus what we need to do now, we do have to talk about the past. We have to talk about what happened and how do we move on from this. And the only way we can move on properly is by educating ourselves, by talking about it, by listening to each other's emotions. So I'm going to address the race issue right now. There are a lot of people on TikTok who get very offended when a non-white person says something about a white person. And as someone who's white, I have looked into this myself. Am I part of that evil being European? Or is my family somehow was also negatively affected by colonialism? There's actually a girl that posted something about generational fear that like blew my mind. It's so simple, but the way that she said it, it just triggered me into having so many different visions and thinking not just about, like I always knew generational trauma through the colonized people, the colonized cultures, but I never, the way that she explained it, how it happened to Europeans, and how Europeans essentially made everything so much worse, it just hit me like a brick wall, and it was like, that's it. I'll be doing an episode on it, generational fear and trauma, later on, but these are the kind of conversations we're supposed to be having. The next is the law of energy. Once you understand that everything is energy, including our vessel selves. Our vessel selves are made up of energy, the same as our soul bodies. The only difference is our soul bodies can manifest energy a lot faster within thoughts and emotion than our physical vessels. Our physical vessels usually take more time to anchor in changes. And this is where you have to understand your emotions, how transmuting energy works, how energetically we are affected. So once you understand the connection of everything and that everything is connected, and then you start understanding what energy is, you can use these two things to literally explain everything. You can use this to go back to and research for yourself the law of attraction, the law of perpetual transmutation, energy. Right here I have the law of perpetual transmutation, aka energy. Energies and auras, your energy field, Earth's energy field, and how our personal energy field works into Earth's energy field. Emotional purging, emotional processing, and energetic or emotional transmuting. Cause and effect, aka karma, and then also part of the perpetual transmutation and energy is also understanding the polarity, the relativity, and I like to say just duality. Understanding that here on Earth, there is always duality. part of the reason why is because Mother Earth herself is a creator in her own right. Anyways, so I'm gonna leave it there. The next episode I'm going to do is talking about land back, and I will meet you there. Okay, love you guys. Bye.